20 questions. 20 yes or no questions to guess the car.
Do you want to give this one to Garrett, or do you think he's seen the picture?
He's looking at the picture as we speak.
Okay.
I probably still wouldn't know what it is.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Bose Bros podcast. I'm Mason.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Garrett.
And Logan will not be joining us, so we replaced him with yet another Bose Bro.
Yeah.
So
there's no shortage of them.
Yep, they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. All right, and we'd also like to plug Kira Bose for these awesome engraved mugs.
Not that one.
Delicious. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our speed rounds. First up is 20 questions for you, Jordan.
Yeah.
So go ahead and start.
Okay, so 20 questions. American market vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. Big three manufacturer?
No.
Electric manufacturer.
As in, do they make an electric car?
They are known for electric cars.
No.
Okay. That narrows it down greatly. Wait, no. I said American market, not American made. Okay. German made.
By pausing, I'm telling you a lot of information.
Yes, so it's both German and English.
I'll say no.
English made.
No.
Oh, really? So it's not German made. Okay.
If I say yes, it's going to lead you down the wrong path.
Okay, and if you say no, it's going to lead me down the wrong path. Okay.
Take that for what it's worth.
All right. But it is made in Europe.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Is it a low production volume vehicle?
Compared to what?
A Volkswagen Golf.
Yes.
Is it a V8?
Yes.
Okay. How many am I at?
7.
All right. It's not from a German manufacturer. But it kind of is. Is it owned by a German?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a Skoda?
No.
Okay. Is it a Seat?
No.
Is it a Bugatti?
No.
Because that's French. Is it owned by Volkswagen Group?
Yes.
Okay, I assume so. I'm at 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. The Volkswagen Group that owns things that aren't German. I'm missing something obvious, I think. Because they own Bugatti, they own Skoda, they own Seat. Skoda is, I don't remember who they're with, but are they Austrian? Whatever. And then Bugatti is French, and then Seat's Spanish. I don't know who else they have in their umbrella, but I think I would know the brand. Otherwise, yeah, I would know the brand, and I got away without asking a question because you nodded.
I mean, you know a lot of brands, so that doesn't really narrow it down.
I know. Interesting. So it's a low production vehicle with a V8. Oh. It is the Lamborghini Huracan replacement.
No.
Oh, really? Is it the Lamborghini Anus?
I don't think they make anything called Anus.
Oh, whatever they call the Urus?
It is the Urus. I thought it being a V8 Lamborghini would throw you off.
Yeah, I knew I was missing something obvious. Mm-hmm. But the new replacement is also a V8.
Yeah.
Twin turbo V8.
I forgot.
Yeah. But it is the Lamborghini Anus. I call it that because it's just not a Lamborghini.
When you said, is it German made? I'm like,
I mean, sort of.
Like 60, 70% of it.
I see why you paused. But
Absolutely. I'm like, oh, it's German. Oh, you're not going to then think Lamborghini.
Right.
But if I say no, then it's like, well, I mean, it is most of the same car
Right.
as all the other German.
They basically did all of the engineering and then carefully let the Italians do the design. Because underneath, it's an
Under
Audi.
close supervision.
Under close supervision, yeah. Otherwise, so they're not changing anything structural. It's an RSQ7. It's an Audi SUV.
It's much sharper than...
Oh, totally. Like,
German
you wouldn't
counterparts.
sit them next to each other. It's not like a... We're not talking about a basic rebadging here. It's a rebodied RSQ7.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got next?
20 questions.
wanna
20 yes or no questions to guess the car.
Do you want to give this one to Garrett? Or do you think he's seen the picture?
He's looking at the picture as we speak.
Okay.
You know, I probably still wouldn't know what it is.
Okay. Garrett, 20 questions. All right.
Is it red?
Maybe it's red.
It might be red.
Okay. Is it a Japanese market vehicle?
No.
Is it an American market vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Is it from an American car brand?
Yes.
Is it from the big three?
Yes.
Is it from Chrysler Group?
Yes.
Okay. Is it still on sale?
Yes.
Oh. That narrows it down. Mm-hmm. Is the new Charger?
Yes.
I
Yes.
thought it was a Mustang.
I,
I thought it was the EV.
why is he
Mustang.
here? Why is he here?
Garrett's here to provide an outside perspective.
I don't know anything about
Strangely, he's giving the non-autistic perspective. I know
We decided to
probably
mix things up and bring someone in that is less neurotypical than we are.
All right.
All right.
It's
This
not
one
a Mustang, Garrett.
is not a Mustang.
Okay.
All right. I think this next one is you for me. So I'm going to be
Okay.
keeping my eyes here so I don't...
All right. So if I look at this, it should be the car that I...
I only did two, so
Okay.
whatever is...
Oh, yes. Okay. So you're not looking at the car. I almost
Correct.
said what it is.
Well, scoot back to where you were because the camera will stay focused on you.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're not looking.
Not looking.
All right. So 20 questions. Ready, set, go.
Is it an American market car?
No.
Is it...
Thank you, Garrett. Mason can actually look at me now. It's not an American market car.
It's not an American market car. Like it's never been sold here or isn't sold here?
It has never been sold here.
Okay. Is the brand sold here?
Not currently. That doesn't help you, though.
Okay. You're keeping track of the questions, right? Is it a Japanese market car?
No.
Is it a European market car?
Yes.
Okay.
I know you've heard of this car.
Does it have two doors?
Yes.
Not that like it also has four doors, but is it like a two-door car specifically?
Okay. It's a 3-door car.
Okay. Like if it was a sedan, you'd be like, well, yeah, it has two doors.
Yeah.
It also has four more.
Yeah.
4 doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a 3-door. Okay, so it's a hatchback. That's not a question, so don't nod.
Or a Raptor.
So it's a shooting brake. Your face isn't changing. Okay, I'm not getting anything.
Well, that's what a 2-door with a hatch
What a hatchback is.
Sort of.
I don't know a lot of shooting brakes.
Actually, it's a station wagon with 2 doors is a shooting brake. A hatchback with 2 doors is just a hatch.
So it's more compact. Okay,
Could be either.
it could be either.
They both,
is
a
it-
station wagon and a hatchback would be a 3-door vehicle.
Is it an intentionally low production vehicle?
Yes.
Is it the Parasangue?
No.
Is it the BMW hatchback?
No.
The Z4 hatchback? No. Okay.
The clown shoe?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
But you can buy the Parasangue here.
That's true. And yeah, okay, that was a bad question. And you could buy the BMW. Actually, I don't know if you can buy the BMW.
I mean, you can if you have poor taste, I think. Nice.
Is it a UK brand?
No.
Is it a German brand?
No.
Is it a French brand?
Yep. I'm shocked you don't have it yet. You know this car.
At least one of them is blue.
That's a big hint. The one he saw is blue. The picture I found online was blue, is what he's saying. It's a French brand. It's a car you totally know. And it is 3 doors.
And I know the brand, I take it, if I know the car.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a Bugatti?
Nope.
Is it a Renault?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that Renault, like, super, what, the V12 Clio or whatever?
It is not a V12 Clio.
V8, whatever it is. The super, you know what I'm talking about, like the super Clio.
The Renault Clio V6 RS?
Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was question 14.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So way to go. You can move that just to see a picture of it. Don't skip to the next one because then you'll see my next one. But yeah, it is a Renault Clio V6. Garrett, can I tell you about this car for a second?
Sure.
That thing looks like a family hatchback, right?
No, it's got the big air scoop in front of the back tire.
The reason it has that big air scoop is because they decided to put a V6 in it. Normally that has a tiny, tiny engine in the front. Now,
Hold on.
Oh, right.
Slow down. Why do they need an air intake by the rear tires?
Oh, because the V6 is in the back seat.
Okay. It's the Golf concept they stuffed a V12 into, right?
Yes, they did stuff a V12 into a Golf
Okay.
concept.
That's what I was, but I did know I had this car on Project Gotham.
Forza
maybe?
4.
Forza 4? Okay.
Yes, but this Renault Clio, they decided instead of the tiny engine up front in this hatchback,
So what do
they
they put
put a V6 in the back seat.
What do they put up front then?
I don't know, suspension components.
That's wild. That's pretty cool looking.
But the reason is it's a homologation vehicle because they wanted to
What
take
is homologation?
a homologation vehicle in a lot of racing series. If you want to race it in a racing series, you have to sell a certain number of them. And let's say I want to sell a Toyota Corolla and use that in a racing series. Well, you have to have, depending on the series, the one on the road has to be broadly similar to the one that you're racing. There's a set number of things that have to be the same, like where the engine is and how many wheels are driven and all that, right? Now, there you can like soup up the engine and stuff in racing, obviously, but there's certain things that have to be the same. And depending on the series, you have to sell a certain number of them to prove that this is a road-going car. You can't just make a concept and go like, yeah, we sell it. We just only never made one, right? Well, this Renault Clio, they wanted to take racing. The best way to get better weight balance is to actually make the engine a lot bigger and put it behind the driver. Then we get more power. We have way more traction over the rear wheels. And we have to completely redesign everything. And then they ended up just selling them, and they were fairly popular. So homologation cars are hands down the coolest cars you can find. The Toyota Corolla GR is a Corolla that is made with a 3-cylinder engine that makes over 300 horsepower. It makes more than the Charger V6 out of 3 cylinders. And anyway, and that's a homologation car that they never even got to race. And then Toyota, being Toyota, decided, you know what? We like the people that like our cars. We'll just sell it anyway, even though we never got to. And now they sold more than they ever needed to go racing. It's just a really cool car.
Yeah.
It's a homologation car that was never raced. So anyway, I could go on, but that one I think is super cool.
That is cool. All right, next one. 20 questions. You don't have to cover it. I won't look at it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. You may or may not even know this car exists.
Is this a car that's currently on sale?
No.
Is this a car that was on sale in the 90s?
Yes. Wait, no, sorry. It debuted in 2002, so no.
Debuted in 02. Okay. Is it an American market car?
No.
Okay, that would explain why I may not know it. Is it a German car?
Oh, gosh. At the time it was made, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's owned by a German brand now.
Okay. Is it a sedan?
No.
Is it a coupe?
It's a roadster.
A European
It's an open-top
roadster.
coupe.
Okay. Did it have an option for a roof?
All of them had removable roofs.
Okay.
It had an option for a shooting brake from the factory.
Okay. So there were some that weren't convertibles then.
No, it was a convertible. Also a shooting brake. It's 8, by the way.
Is it meant to be a family car?
No.
Okay.
If you know it, you're going to go, oh, that thing?
aerial atom type looking thing?
No, it's not a track. Well, no, it's not supposed to be a track toy. It's supposed to be just a car.
Okay. But I know the brand that made it.
You have heard of the brand. That's 11.
Is the brand known, regardless of who owns the brand the car was made under, is that known as being a German car company?
It is not famously German. In fact, it might not actually be German, but I know it's owned by Germans now.
Do you know who owns it? That's not a question, but do you know who owns it?
I think it's BMW.
No, I meant, okay. Is this brand still around?
Not in the US, but yes.
The brand still exists?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've given you a lot of information here on the last few questions. You're on 13, by the way. Let's rapid fire these last few.
Okay. Does it have more than 300 horsepower?
No.
Does it have more than 200 horsepower?
No.
Wow. Okay. Does it have more than 100 horsepower?
No.
Oh. Wait. Is this the bubble car? That BMW owned bubble car with the front?
The BMW Isetta?
Yeah.
No. It will be eventually. I guess it every time, but it's not.
How many do you have left?
You have 3 left.
Is it... I really thought that was it. Is it electric?
No.
I was going to say the G-Wiz.
The G-Wiz, that would have not... But G-Wizes aren't convertibles as far as I know. I don't think you get a convertible G-Wiz. It's not a PLP 50, by the way.
Is it the smart car?
The Smart
4.2.
It is not a Smart 4.2.
Dang, I thought that was a good guess. That's it, right?
That was...
it?
No, you have one more.
Um,
It's not the Smart 4.2.
is it...
I actually already told you the name of the model. You just don't.
Oh, is it the Smart 4 or whatever it is? The bigger one?
It is not. It is the Smart Roadster.
Did I even know that existed?
I know. Could you believe they made that in a shooting brake?
I thought that was a fever dream. I didn't...
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Shooting brake.
A shooting brake is a station wagon or a sports car, more specifically. It can be a sports car or a station wagon with only 2 doors
2 doors and a hatch.
and a hatch. So imagine the Miata, but with a hatchback.
That's a weird way to describe that.
Yeah, but that one's not. That one's not a shooting brake.
Would you consider the Corvette a shooting brake?
Oh, maybe.
Why would they call it a shooting? Why that pairing of words? That doesn't make any
because
sense to me.
It was for wealthy people to drive their sports cars to go shooting, but they needed more space for their guns and to bring back things that they killed. So they want to drive a sports car to go shooting. It's a
That's
shooting
hilarious.
brake. Yeah.
That looks like a muscle car version of the Little Tikes dollhouse car.
Yeah. That is a smart Roadster.
Yeah.
The trunk in that is crazy. You can fit maybe 4 or 5 potatoes.
Wow.
And that's why they continued this roof from this silver band, and then it just flatlined right at the trunk, so that you had that whole thing that opened, so you could fit like almost a backpack. This thing is microscopic. Next to it's between the size of a Honda Beat and a Miata.
Wow. So really tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, is potatoes an industry term? I don't know, or is that
No, like literal potatoes. You could fit
that
literally
is
like
your
5
sarcasm.
potatoes. No, I'm not sarcastic. That's all you could fit in that trunk.
Why would you measure that in potatoes?
Why wouldn't you measure it?
Americans will use anything. as a
Yeah,
measuring
anything.
system.
You could fit 1/16 of a washing machine in that.
There we go.
In that trunk.
Anything but metric.
Anything but metric.
All right, next one. 20 questions for me. Mm-hmm. All right. You need to look at it.
Oh, yep. You got it.
Do I know what this is?
Yes.
That's not a question. Do I even know this?
Yes, you absolutely know what this is. I know the last 2 were really hard, so
Is this
you will get to this one. So let's just like fire through them.
Is it an American market car?
Yeah,
Is it made by the big 3?
yeah,
Is it made by GM?
yeah.
Is it made by Chevy?
No. Well, they rebadged everything they ever made, so probably.
Okay. So it's one of those like mid, late 2000s, had several different...
You got it.
is it a Equinox?
Nope.
Trailblazer?
Yes-ish.
Is the Envoy XUV?
Yeah, it's an Envoy XUV. This thing's crazy, Garrett. So that tailgate comes down. It comes down, and then the roof goes forward, and then the back seat, the back of the back seat, is the front of the truck bed, and you can lay the back seat down, and the wall of the cabin of the car comes down, the back wall, and you have a truck that's 2-seater all the way out to the end of the tailgate.
It's like, I can almost understand...
Drugs?
This is when did this come out?
2008?
So this is after like the
No,
transfer.
earlier than that,
2005?
2004.
No, because
Oh, so it's been like
Allen's is an
90.
05, and that was before this one.
They offered this in both.
Oh, at the same time?
They had the Envoy, and then they had the Envoy XUV.
Yeah. Wouldn't one of
I
those
literally
be cool?
watched a Motor Week
Mm-hmm.
of this like yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, 2004.
Okay. Yeah. I would think those are actually pretty cool.
It is one of those just like throw everything at the wall, and ultimately, like whether or not it was a good car or not, you can pull things out of this weird GM Renaissance early 2000s era. They were like, okay, I don't know what the heck's going on with the rest of that, but this is a good idea.
Yeah, they found one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It very reminiscent to me of the Transformers toys we played with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I could see like the concept art coming from someone's kid. That was
You're thinking of the Cybertruck.
the Cybertruck is awesome, and I love it because it's almost as
I
weird
find
as
that
I am.
I find the engineering of the Cybertruck fascinating. I can't imagine having one in my driveway.
Every time me and my wife see one on the road, we're like, "Oh, Cybertruck! Oh, Cybertruck!" It's like the new Cybertruck.
It's how my kids do it too. They both just go Cybertruck.
That has to be like the most wrapped car.
Yeah.
I see more wrapped Cybertrucks than non-wrapped Cybertrucks.
Then people raw dogging you.
It's also like iconic. You could see the Cybertruck on the horizon from as far away as you could see anything and know it was a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
No.
If you see the side profile of that vehicle, it's either a Cybertruck or you're hallucinating a PlayStation 2 vehicle.
Is that a Cybertruck being towed? No, it's an appliance salesman.
Whatever. I love it. I think it's
All right, one more 20 questions, right?
Yes.
Do I know this one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's less common, but yes.
I would love to comment.
Jap-
but I feel like it's going to give it away.
Japanese market car?
No.
American market car?
Yes.
Big three.
Yes.
Ford.
No.
Chrysler Group.
No.
Okay. Pontiac.
No.
Cadillac.
No.
Hummer.
No.
Saab.
No.
Buick.
No.
Chevy.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 11.
Holy cow.
You went to Saab before Chevy?
Shut up. Well, I mean, I figured you'd be more obscure.
Why would you go to Saab before Chevy?
Okay. Is this like a passenger vehicle? As in not something meant to be...
It's a 2-seater.
Okay, a Chevy 2-seater. Is it a Corvette?
It is not.
Is it a SSR?
I'm going to recant 4 of your questions because I just went to double check. It is not a Chevy. It is also, I'll just say it's none of those brands, and don't bother asking about any other GM brands, but it is owned by GM.
And it's a 2-door?
It is a 2-door.
Is it a sporty car by design?
No.
And it has...
Someone who doesn't know would look at it and go, that looks sporty.
And it has 2 seats.
Yes. So you are at 9 questions now.
I think it looks sporty.
Yes. He thinks it looks sporty. That's not what it's for.
Is it a HH? No. That was Chevy. No. I'm not looking at you. That didn't count. How am I supposed to guess the car if I don't even know what the brand is?
You know the make. You know General Motors.
Is it a Saturn Sky?
No, it's not made by Saturn. It is made by General Motors. General Motors is the make. I'm looking for the model name.
A GM?
Not GMC. General Motors.
Okay. Is it after the year 2000?
Its lifespan crossed that year.
Okay. So
it was very briefly on either side.
What? But not GMC, not Chevy. None of the brands I said.
Nope.
If I keep guessing brands, I'm not going to get it then.
Correct.
Okay.
At this point, if you don't know it, you don't know it.
Is it a Hummer? Like a Hummer with only two seats in it?
It's not a Hummer. I will give you another hint. You and I, and no one we've ever known, probably has ever seen one of these on the road.
But it's an American market, right? I asked that, right?
Yep.
So it's not like a Holy Mute or something.
5 years, they sold, I think, 1,100 of them.
Is it a GM Cyclone? GMC Cyclone?
Nope, it's not a GMC.
So it's a GM car, but not a brand under GM.
Yep, GM is the make.
Is it electric?
It is.
Is it the EV1?
It is the EV1. It is the General Motors EV1. Way to go.
I mean, that's literally the only car I know that was like just
General Motors.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, wait, no, it's not Chevy EV1. It is General Motors EV1. That's why I double checked.
The history of that thing is wild.
It's a crazy story for sure.
That deserves its own segment at some point in the future because that's crazy. It's an electric car by General Motors from like the late 90s. And there's this whole like...
I thought Tesla was like the first one to make a successful electric car.
Here's the thing. People that had an EV1 loved it. Mm-hmm. It was like a real electric car that had real range. Now, when I say real, it's not great compared to modern electric cars. But for late 90s, this was like, this actually works like as an electric car. The range like can actually get you places. It can charge in a decent amount of time. Like this is practical for a plurality of people, you know? But every one of those EV1s was leased to customers. They never sold any of them. So at some point, someone in GM and some lobby or either a government entity saw, if anything, there was too much potential with the electric car and cut it. And they took back all the EV1s that they'd leased and demolished them all.
Except for one.
There's still
What, does Jay Leno own this too?
Probably. No, I think there's
like
one
a
in
museum
like a
or
museum,
somewhere.
yeah.
But yeah, that history on that car is pretty wild because it didn't fail because it didn't work. Like the people who owned them actually really liked them. It failed because GM just decided to kill it because they were like, "Oh, this actually works." And somebody who has some connection to the oil industry or something was like, "Actually, this is too good, and we need all those back, and we're going to destroy them, and we're not going to talk about this again."
Yep.
Right? Am I missing anything?
That's how I remember it. Yeah.
It looks like a scaled up Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
Like a car.
Nope.
It does look like a scaled up Hot Wheel. I know what he means.
Yeah.
I know exactly where all the proportions are wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the proportions are wrong. Like, there's not lines where there should be lines.
I mean, EVs are really dependent on aerodynamics in a way that gas vehicles aren't as much. Yeah.
You're going to see the car. You're going to tell me what it's based on. That is the Aston Martin
Signet.
Yep.
And that is based on the Scion X, whatever, their little micro car.
Which is a
Scion, Toyota
IQ.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Toyota IQ.
But I knew it was like a Scion.
Yeah, and that's just some other badged
Okay.
version of an IQ. Yep.
And they did that for emissions reasons, right?
Yeah, so they had to pass CAFE, which is corporate average fuel economy. Mm-hmm. So in Europe, they were saying you have to make certain number of MPGs across your whole line of vehicles. And Aston Martin sells exclusively GT or sports cars, and they're
V10, V12 cars.
Yeah, they're never going to pass that. So they just, for the sake of CAFE regulations, just said, "Hey, Toyota, give us your highest MPG vehicle, and we're going to slap an Aston Martin badge and front end on it." And honestly, like they did way more to make it look different, like with a different grille different wheels. The interior's way upscaled from an IQ. They even have like quilted pillows in the back seat. It's a whole thing.
There's a back seat.
Yes, yeah. There are 4 seats in that.
What?
Yeah, that's a 4-seater.
I wish I hadn't wasted my little thanks.
You can only bring exclusively like military veterans that have stepped on IEDs, because anyone with legs is not going to be able to fit in the back seat.
Well, that's wildly offensive, and on behalf of the military, I'd like to say it's hilarious.
So anyway, you could take exclusively...
Put dogs in the back.
You could put a very sad dog in the back, yes. Or humans with no legs.
Yeah.
No, the back seat is not even worthy of being a joke. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a wild rebadge. All right.
That is a Suzuki
What's the name of it?
Pano.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was the AZ1. So it is based on the AZ1.
It is a rebadged
Rebadge is a generous term.
AutoZam AZ1. Yeah.
It's the exact same car.
Well, Mazda also did one with a Mazda Speed AZ1, where they put a F40 style wing, and like the headlights were more pronounced, and it got a little bit more power.
Yeah.
They literally just took the badge off and put a different badge on.
Yeah. They're the same picture.
These are the same picture. Yeah. What is that?
Speaking of Saab, that's a 9.3 Sport sedan, right?
Yes. It's a 9.3.
I actually don't know this, but now that I'm like looking at it, it looks like a Subaru.
What kind?
Like a what is it? A Impreza?
Go to the next slide.
Oh,
Nailed it.
it is.
It's
okay.
Subaru Impreza.
Awesome.
Yeah.
These are different generations.
I had the exact same reaction. I'm like, wait, that's rebadged? Oh, wait, that's a Subaru.
It does. This is a. That's a different generation.
Yeah,
now.
it's slightly. Yeah.
This looks different. There is a Subaru that looks much more
Yes,
like.
I grabbed the wrong year. This is the generation before the picture you just saw.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's
wasn't.
the
I was in
generation
a hurry and
previous to
grabbed
that.
the wrong picture. That's my bad.
Yeah, but yeah, with the hood scoop and everything.
Yeah, it is a Subaru Impreza. Good
Yeah.
job.
I actually didn't know that, but looking at it, I'm like, if that is rebadged, it looks a lot like a Subaru.
Yeah, if you just cover the front, you're like, oh, look, a silver Subaru. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was going to be competition against
Logan.
but I guess you can verse Garrett. He's less familiar with names, but you'll also just be versing the time. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to get my kids set this to the end of the universe, so let me go ahead and...
The heat death of the universe.
I'll give you a minute to unscramble as many of these as possible.
Okay.
These could be make or model,
All right.
and they're all ones you know.
Okay. They're all American market vehicles. If you want to, if you figure any out.
Yeah, you can chime in.
Well, I already looked at the screen, so I figured this one out already.
All right, well, let Jordan get a whack at this one. Give him a few seconds, all right?
Okay.
All right. Ready? All right.
Ferrari.
Okay. Very good. This could be make or model.
Silica.
Very good.
Oh gosh. Very German. Wrangler.
Very good.
No, wait.
Logan really should have been here for this.
25 seconds.
I'm stunned. Skip.
It's a samurai.
Oh, Suzuki. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that.
This is a short one to not get.
Yeah. No,
Five.
Letter.
I'm out of time.
4, 3. All right.
What was that one?
Bronco.
Bronco. Yeah, I'm not good at this.
So you got 3 out of 5.
You want to see how many of these I can get without a timer?
Sure.
All right. Oh, this is again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unscramble the name. So no timer then?
No, go for it. I thought there was just a whole bunch of them.
No.
So-
I had 5. So we'll see how many of
Okay.
these 5 you can get.
All right.
This one's gonna be fast.
Okay.
All right.
And when you're ready.
Okay. Unscramble the name.
Toyota.
Very good.
Yeah, Toto. Cherokee.
Very good.
Panda.
Very good. What is it?
Durango.
Very
It
good.
is Durango. Nice.
I didn't look either. I didn't cheat. Saturn.
Oh. No, that has a U.
Yep. Nope, not Saturn.
Oh, dang.
You still have 30 seconds. I think this is the last one.
Oh, I just looked, and I never in a million years would have got that.
You would get it, Jordan. You know this car.
N-E-T net.
Starts with an S.
Oh.
Three, two, one.
Sentra.
Sentra.
Sorry, my credit score is too high to get that.
How do you get Cherokee, but not Bronco?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many more letters in that.
I don't know. Something in my head was just like, that's Cherokee. There's no explaining it.
Blind rankings. I'll rank these cars 1 to 5 without knowing what comes next. The category is
Ahead of their time. Okay.
So
It's the first time that I don't have a whole list of cars in my mind.
there's a pretty diverse lineup. And this isn't necessarily the car that you want the most. It's just which of these had the most things or the features that were like maybe out there, but eventually people came around to or are going to come around to, you think.
All right.
All right. Aztec. Lifestyle SUV.
It was ahead of its time. The vision of a lifestyle SUV was ahead of its time. There's nothing that excuses the way it looks.
No.
Nothing can. It has the face even a mother would hate.
I think it's that bad.
Well, I didn't know that Garrett was also Stevie Wonder. I do understand
You got to rank it 1 to 5.
You think this looks good if you don't have eyes. That's fine.
I have a
But-
prescription. This is
So I'm going to call that 4.
4. Okay.
Because the idea was ahead of its time. The execution was not.
AMC Eagle. This is a
This
higher
is- yeah.
higher ride height sedan hatchback
And they made like a
station wagon.
They made like a Dodge version. They made a few of these, right? I almost did this as a cousin car.
AMC
So,
Eagle.
AMC Eagle.
How ahead of its time was it? 1 to 5.
It wasn't very because Subaru was already doing this at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
1980? Really?
mid '80s. Yeah, they were doing this. So I'm gonna call it 5.
Okay. Model S. 2012.
That was ahead of its time. That's a solid 2.
Yeah.
There might be something on here that beats it.
Okay. Ram Charger.
The Ram Charger is a 1.
1? You
Because-
think people will come around to this?
Absolutely. I think this is the way it has to be. For emissions, for efficiency, for towing, for everything. Range. It's just the way the Ram Charger is the way it's going to go.
We have a whole segment on why Jordan loves the Ram Charger.
Yeah. We have many segments. I love this idea.
Yep. So that means your number 3 is GTR 2007.
That's a fun. I wouldn't have changed any of those.
Really?
Yeah, that was perfect.
All right.
Yeah, because it was ahead of its time, and then it wasn't.
For 2007.
For 2007, it was.
People forget.
It was slaying Ferraris. It was absolutely the monster killer, and then Godzilla got old.
Yeah.
Godzilla needed to go to a retirement home.
They finally got rid of that car. When that car went on sale, George Bush was president.
Yeah,
And they've not changed hardly anything about it.
they changed the interior a little bit. They updated the radio from 2007.
I'd hope.
But yeah, everything else.
Like everything else.
Yeah, basically now it has a screen too and backup cameras and all that.
Except the truck.
Rank these things 1 to 5 without knowing what comes next. The category is wackiest
Ideas. Okay.
How out there were these
What
ideas?
is in one is the craziest,
Just the most
nonsense like
crazy
Okay,
idea.
got it.
5 is like, yeah, that's not that wild. I could see why that'd be useful.
Okay.
Okay. Wraparound seating.
What do they
1969
call it?
Ford Aurora.
Lounge
Seating.
Lounge
yeah.
seating, yeah. I it's like having a micro
Living room.
limo.
Yeah.
It's like a microscopic limo. I think that's a really dumb idea.
For safety or for practicality?
For plenty of reasons. But also, let's just
think of one good reason.
yes, I imagine you can, Garrett. I imagine you can. But like, for example, if you're wanting to have a lounge thing where you're like being driven around like luxury and whatever, would you put your butler, say, in the exact middle of your conversation? Or whoever's driving
His head's
you?
like right there.
Exactly in the middle of your conversation. Would you have to look around your driver to talk to the other people in private?
I don't think how do they even have seatbelts in there? Is it just...
No,
60s, why
no.
would they have
Each
seatbelts?
of the people is their own projectile, and
Yeah.
they.
So what do you rank it, 1 to 5?
I'm gonna call that 3 because I think there's some dumb stuff coming.
Well,
Okay.
that is a great way for mom or dad in the passenger seat to whip around and start doling out some discipline, 1960s style.
Yeah. It's like swinging from what the stories you hear, belts, like medieval tools, whatever else. Yeah.
All right, so you said 4?
3.
3. Okay.
That is an absolute 5. I could totally see how that's useful. I didn't even realize it swung open to the side too.
It can do either way.
Wow, it goes
Swings
both ways. Okay.
Is this the thing from before?
Yes.
It's the same one.
The same one. This is a different angle.
That's the back of an SUV.
The roof can come back and fully enclose it like an SUV, or it can retract so you can have tall things like a truck.
Isn't that weird? It's kind of cool.
So you think it's cool. Number 5.
I like Optimus.
All right, this one inspired this entire segment.
Okay.
This is the liquid tire chain. It is a rare 1969 only option for most rear-wheel drive Chevys. It was a canister installed in the trunk, James Bond style, and you press a button and it sprays some sort of solvent or sticky material onto your tire. So you just press a button and you have a liquid tire chain. This isn't a crazy concept. There are cars that exist that have this installed from the factory.
So on this Camaro here, in the
Is that a
picture,
Camaro?
yeah,
Oh, with the gills right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
on this Camaro, this woman, like,
Liquid tire chain.
it's weird because this is clearly illustrated and put over a photo, so it's really weird to.
But this kind of illustrates when you would use it. Deployable liquid tire chain.
And then what? You have refills at gas stations? What?
I don't know. I don't know what the...
You get how far on one canister? This is a 1. This is absolutely
Wacky.
the weirdest.
It inspired this whole segment.
Yeah, that's a 1.
Okay.
I feel like you would be able to pick up canisters at an auto parts store and you just keep it in your trunk like Fix-A-Flat.
Or windshield wipers or whatever. Yeah, but then
If it caught on, maybe. But
Yeah.
it didn't. It was 1 year, and not very many cars got it.
I
All
wonder
right.
if there's any cars still on the road that have it.
I don't know. This is a 1961 Buick LeSabre with a mirror gauge cluster.
Oh.
Think about the engineering of that real quick.
They had to put it all backwards.
Everything's backwards.
Yeah.
So you want to replace the odometer and a 61 Buick LeSabre, you got to find one that has the
backwards.
numbers backward. Wow. And they liked the thin, elegant look of the mirror.
So it's all for aesthetic.
It's just for aesthetics. They only did it for two model years.
I'm not understanding what's happening. Is it not just...
You're staring at a mirror. The gauges you're looking at are actually horizontal, pointing away from you on the dash. And then the mirror you look at, it reflects. So everything's backward. You can't see the actual gauge here.
Your gauges are hidden down below, and you're seeing the reflection in a mirror. They liked that thin, kind of elegant look to it.
And they were willing to go through all of that.
Everything's backwards. So you look at like the actual things they made, all the numbers, everything are all backward.
This is definitely just wacky. This is wacky. This is it's not as this is a comfortable number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of cool though.
It is. I can't imagine why. This is another one of those things from GM where like if someone
where were the adults in the room?
Right. Was there not someone higher up that's like, I'm sorry, we spent how much money sourcing reverse odometers? Do they spin backward and the numbers are backward? For how many car? One car?
Yeah.
Who's
for 2 model years. Yep. Well, they stopped doing it, so that tells you how successful it was. But yeah, good luck finding replacement parts for that. You got to get them backward. All right. And then last, the Mobile Director, which is a rotating seat with
secretary?
tabletop for your secretary. For the rolling executive that doesn't have time to take meetings and dictate or whatever. 1967 Chrysler Imperial.
I can't even imagine the microscopic size of the market for that. Because plenty of people can write something down.
Most executives at this time could not type. They didn't know how.
I understand that because it was a typist's job. It was a secretary's job. But if you have to, I guess I'm thinking there's other solutions for this. But we're there.
You got to think pre-internet, pre-dictation machines.
Why don't they just tell Alexa what they have to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like if your secretary's in your car, they're not typing.
Thank you.
The seat does turn.
Garrett, were you not here, we wouldn't have such a firm grasp on the obvious. You're right, though. I'm gonna
stuff like that was a dead.
No,
man.
this is not so your secretary can type. This is so that your secretary can type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is so that you have plausible deniability when you're like, why were you on an 18-hour drive with your secretary?
Or your wife's like, why do you need that?
Like, oh, so my secretary can type.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty wacky ideas, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. Quiz time. I have one quiz question for you.
Okay.
In 2024, what were the top 5 dollar per horsepower cars
of 2024? Ooh.
So this is for every horsepower,
how many?
The lowest amount of money you get for each horse could buy you 1 horsepower.
Yeah, so something like
I'll say this list is incredibly diverse. There's trucks, SUVs, gas, electric, everything is on this list.
I would say a Rivian R1S is on the list.
Rivian R1S
and
barely missed the list.
Oh, and R1T, but they're the same.
The R1T is slightly cheaper, so it's.
Do you know how many horsepower the R1S has?
It's like 800 and something.
Not the new one.
Well, the 2024.
2024.
Okay.
1,065 horsepower.
Well, where I got this list from, it said it only had 8 something.
Yeah, it did. So it did on the launch.
It barely missed the list. It was like number 12 and 13.
Mm. So
we're looking for the top 5.
Is the Model 3 Performance on there?
The Model 3 is not.
Model S Performance.
The Model S is.
The Model X is not, because that one's much more expensive.
That is $88,000 for 1,020 horsepower.
Yeah. Which is a
pretty bargain. That's number 2. There's another Tesla on the list.
It's not the Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Model Y Performance? Mm-hmm. No. Model X Performance Plaid?
Mm-hmm.
And Model X Plaid. Okay.
$93,000 for 1,020
I thought they were more than a $5,000 difference. I thought they were like $15,000 more to go from S to X.
No, only $5,000, I guess.
Okay. All right. So there's those two, but
that's number 2. Number 4.
So a Ram TRX. Oh no, 2024 wasn't on sale, huh?
TRX?
Yeah. Hummer.
No.
Oh no, because that has less horsepower.
There are trucks on this list.
Then what else is there? Raptor R, but that's expensive.
You're thinking way too high up.
Oh. Really, really inexpensive trucks.
You're talking horsepower per dollar.
Horsepower per dollar. This is an interesting question. Horsepower per dollar spent. So
Well, it's more dollars per horsepower is how they're
okay,
organized.
yeah.
but-
So it's a used.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. You can go use and get
Yeah.
a real good value.
Yeah.
And a salvage Hellcat, and then you're at the top of the list.
Is it a Maverick?
Ford Mavericks number 10.
Okay, interesting.
250 horsepower for $24,000.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something that qualifies legally as a car that would just top the list because it's a little ridiculous.
There could be. There's plenty of.
It's not on this list. These are all like normal consumer cars. You're missing number 1, number 3, number 5.
So the Chevy Silverado EV.
The Silverado 2500 HD is number 6. The Colorado is number 9. There is another truck in the top 5.
What the heck would it be? Oh, is it the Ford Lightning?
The Ford Lightning's number 8. There's
Gosh.
another truck in the top 5.
What the heck? The most horsepower for the least dollar. Is it a Ram 5.7 Tradesman?
No, that was at the top of the list for a long time, so you can get the HEMI
Yeah.
for like $30K or something. Yeah, that's what you got, right, Garrett?
What did I get?
Ram
Ram.
Tradesman, 8-foot bed with a Hemi.
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
those for like dirt cheap back in the day, brand new. The
Yeah.
F-150 is number 5. You can get 400 horsepower.
Really?
For $37K.
Okay, so I'm only missing one then, huh?
1 and 2, 1 and 3. And these are the same segment of car.
Okay. And if you gave me the segment, I think I could get it.
You're talking sports muscle cars.
Oh, I know. The Mustang. That's number 1, huh?
Mustang GT is number 3.
Number
That's
3.
480 horsepower for $43K.
Yeah, that's a lot of horsepower.
A lot of power.
And then number 1,
2024, the Challenger wasn't on sale.
yeah. And then the only thing, if they're in the same segment, then that would be the Camaro.
Yep. Camaro's number 1. 455 horsepower for $39,000.
That's not bad.
Less than 40K, and you got north of 450 horsepower.
I feel more cramped in that interior, though, than I do in the Miata. Wow. Okay, that was really interesting.
That's a very diverse list.
That was, yeah. Most of these lists, like once you catch on, you know sort of where you're looking, like longevity or safety or whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
This one's all over the place.
did I get every one that was on all the way to 10? Yeah, we talked about all of them.
Yeah, you didn't say the Super Duties.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
If we were talking torque, it'd be a different story. All the Super Duties would be at the top of the list.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What is that? This is a car on sale in the U.S.
Is that a Durango?
It is not. What do you think you're looking at?
I think I'm looking at a taillight. I'm looking at a driver's side taillight.
Wrong on both of those.
This is a car on sale in the U.S.
Well, I guess you're part of that is a taillight, yeah. But it is not driver's side. It is a car that
It's
is.
a passenger side taillight. Weird.
It's a car
Is the car facing this way?
facing away from you, yes.
So this is the license plate
Area.
area. That's the taillight. And so this section here is the taillight.
Sort of.
Oh, is this like it's a facade? It's not actually the taillight.
Nope. What's your guess? It's just been such a sales failure that nobody knows it exists.
It's not the Hornet. The Hornet taillights look different.
Nope.
Is it a Japanese car?
No.
I have no idea. What is it?
It's a Ford EcoSport. And that thing you were staring at is the handle that opens the rear door.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
I toured
Okay.
this in the Detroit Auto Show when they revealed it.
Weird.
And I thought, like, wow, that's great. Like, look at this funky little car in this crossover segment. It's going to sell like crazy. And it has not.
Wow.
I think it's too expensive because a lot of stuff was bespoke to this car, including that door doesn't open up. It opens sideways.
Weird. Why? You have less space to get stuff in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an odd choice.
Yeah. So that thing you were staring at is the door handle.
That's wild.
It's just integrated into the look of the rear taillight.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't seen one of those on the road?
No.
No, it's a complete sales failure.
That's crazy.
It's still on sale as far as I know.
All right, next one.
That's weird.
Oh, that's Infinity G35?
Yep.
G37? Yeah, Grandpa had one. Red one.
35. Yep. You got it.
It's the first manual I ever drove. That's would I know this car?
You absolutely would know this car on sight. I don't know if you know the name.
Is it a Ford?
It's not, and you are going to get crucified.
Oh,
Comment segment's gonna light you up, dude.
Yeah.
is it a Mercedes?
It is a Mercedes.
Is it the SLS?
It's an SL.
SL?
It is the SL.
SL 500, right? SL
Nope.
600? SL... Help me here. What is it?
700.
That is the SL 300 Gullwing.
Okay.
That thing.
I thought it was like Thunderbird when I was
One of those
kid.
was left in a barn, exposed to the elements, and found not too long ago. And even though the tires were rotted, all of the electrical is it's just sitting out in the elements. Rats have eaten stuff, whatever. The interiors was pretty well sealed. It didn't get any water inside or anything. And it sold for $2.5 million.
That's crazy.
$2.5 million.
Here's
All
your
right.
talking point.
My talking point. Don't you love to look at that car? I just put it into an image generator, 1,000 horsepower vehicle. It's just great. Yep, that's what I was looking for. You got it.
Now, when you hear 1,000 horsepower vehicle, you and generative AI think of something like this.
Some kind of sports car.
But
with,
in reality, it's a much more diverse list of cars. With
it
more
is.
than 1,000
It is,
horsepower.
and my point was going to be that this new ZR1 is a really cheap way of getting 1,000 horsepower.
But it's actually not. I mean, comparatively, but there's other cars you can get.
But let's look at this list. This is every car in 20. Now, these are not the bespoke, like, hypercars that you could buy if you are a billionaire, because I don't care about those. I took those out of the
people
list.
don't.
These are from brands that you would recognize, not one-offs that have, everybody and their grandma that's a billionaire has a startup that's making supercars, right? But Ferrari F80, Aston Martin Valhalla, McLaren W1, Hennessy Venom F5M, Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, right there on the list next to the Bugatti Tourbillon. The Rivian R1T and R1S, the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT, Pininfarina Targa America, the Koenigsegg Gamera, the GMC Hummer EV pickup, Lamborghini Revuelto, the Tesla Model X and Model S Plaid. I have the Rivian on there twice for some reason, and the Dodge Demon 170 and the Aston Martin Valkyrie. So that's it. But look at the horsepower numbers. This is listed in order from least to greatest. So that Hummer EV pickup is 1,000 even. The Revuelto beats it by 1. But what other list has those two cars next to each other?
Yeah.
But you could get into
people that like to show off.
yeah. But 2009. When did the Bugatti Veyron actually come online? 2009, 2008?
No, it was like 11. Like
A
2011.
little later.
Yeah.
Either way,
12.
that blew everyone's mind at cracking the 1,000 horsepower mark.
What?
The Bugatti blew everyone's mind. It was
Oh, the Veyron.
the Veyron,
Oh, I thought you said the
not the Chiron.
Reventon.
No. I said the Bugatti Veyron.
Oh, the Veyron. No, that was 2005.
Was it 5? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was like 8 or 9. Okay, but it blew everyone's mind with 1,000 horsepower. Now there's a list twice this long if you wanted to list everything that you could find, because there's another 20 of them that are just like bespoke high horsepower EVs. You notice that the Hymatz is not on here. Like, these are from regular brands,
Yeah.
right? But the fact that you can go into a lot of well-known brands, I guess, except for Pininfarina, because that's like their second car ever. But my favorite one on this list has got to be the Hennessy Venom F5M, because that F5M is a manual rear-wheel drive.
Do they make a tire compound capable of even using half of that power?
They probably don't have a tire compound capable of using a third of that power.
Wait, but don't they have...
It would need to be like a steamroller.
Yeah, it would basically need to be just a rubber tube. It would be like Fred Flintstone's tires.
Is that just for the heck of it?
Yes. Have you heard of
guess
John
that-
Hennessy?
I guess that's more for top speed.
Yeah, but the manual's for fun.
Yeah. That's how you know
That John Hennessy is a madman.
is like that's what people want. Like,
Yeah.
does it make any sense?
Nope.
To have that much horsepower in a manual, like, is it going to be slower? Yeah.
You think he cares at all?
Yeah.
No. People are still going to keep buying.
Show me your manual 1800 power car.
Yeah, your his mammoths that he sells, and like people still buy the crap out of his modifications. Then he builds what he wants to build.
Mm-hmm.
So is this just some guy that really likes cars that made a bunch of money?
John
doing
Hennessy?
car stuff? Yeah.
He modifies cars, so like he took the Raptor and turned it into the Velociraptor, and he made a 700 and something horsepower version of the Raptor, and then people
What's
would
the normal one?
like 430, 480, something like
How do
that.
you do that much with that engine?
Different engine.
Oh, well, that explains that part.
Yeah.
Or he'll supercharge it.
Or he'll supercharge. Like he took the TRX and he made the TRX into what he calls the Mammoth. And
I heard that term before.
and the Mammoth has over 1,000 horsepower out of the same engine.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you buy a
Jam more
TRX.
air in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, and more fuel and other things. But you take a TRX to him for $90,000. You bring your TRX, and then you pay him an additional like $100,000 to do the conversion.
That's cool. Yeah.
What's the cheapest one? That you
Probably the Tesla.
The Tesla Model S Plaid is probably
That is
the cheapest.
pretty wild. You can park in a Walmart parking lot next to a Model S
Plaid
and just not even know you're parked next to 1,000 horsepower car.
next to something
20 years ago, that'd be like, what?
And the only like real exception to the horsepower number on this list is that Lucid Air Sapphire. So the Lucid Air Sapphire has 3 motors. Each of them is capable of 600 to 700 horsepower. And you might say, well, you add up 600 times 3, that's more than 1,234 horsepower. But unlike every other vehicle on this list, the Lucid Air Sapphire uses real-time torque vectoring to move that, because that's the amount that the battery can output, not the amount that the motors can output. Mm-hmm. It's the only one battery limited because its motors are so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
So that they basically just have the thickest wire that they can pass current through to get to the motors. Mm-hmm. And as a result, they can turn around using just the motors, and just like the back wheels can just, if they wanted to, they could just program it to do that, right? Which means if you're in a high-speed corner or something with that Sapphire, you can slow down the inside wheel or speed up the outside wheel, whatever, and then you can do maneuvers that other cars actually can't do. Even if they're sports cars, even if they're race cars, 5,500 pound family sedan can actually do things they can't.
That's cool.
You'd think with Tesla open sourcing all of their tech that
They said they would.
Well,
They do some stuff.
Some stuff, yeah.
On to the news. We got some news today. I don't know if it's necessarily news. I think it's newsworthy. CEO of Dodge and Ram stepped down last June. Carlos Tavares is the CEO of Stellantis, which is the mega umbrella of car companies over Dodge and Ram, but also
And 20 others.
20 other car companies. A lot of people don't like him. He's pictured there on the left, especially here in the States, because many believe that he didn't understand the American market, and he was the primary opposition to the HEMI engine, which say what you want about the HEMI engine. It's not efficient, doesn't make as much power as competitors.
It was time for a refresh on that engine. They didn't do it.
People still like the HEMI, right? Now they have this new Hurricane engine that is more efficient, it makes more power, it makes more torque. Great. People still like the HEMI. Mm-hmm. He didn't understand that component. Carlos. Tim Knuskis, former CEO of Dodge and Ram, is now back, came out of retirement as CEO of Ram in December, about 2 weeks after Carlos left, which is interesting timing to say the least. He's there on the right. So Knuskis is known as the godfather of the Hellcat. Maybe even just the father of the Hellcat.
We did, part of one of our episodes was saying it was like a thank you to Tim Knuskis.
He loves cars. Let me look at that picture. Look at these two people. You couldn't find two people that have less in common when it comes to cars. Mm-hmm. He's back at Ram. He's not back at Dodge, but he's back at Ram. The Ram 1500 is now all 6 cylinders in its lineup. So there's the Pentastar V6, which they've used forever as like the base engine. And then now they have a new Hurricane i6, like an inline 6, standard output and high output that replace the 5.7 and 6.4 liter HEMI engines respectively. And for each of the engines they're replacing,
And the diesel 6-cylinder.
the HEMIs at least, they make more power, more torque, and get better gas mileage than those engines.
And Ram buyers might care, but Dodge buyers don't care. They want the HEMI.
Well, despite this, Ram sales are down. And some people are pointing to the HEMI. Now, Knuskis blames production issues, not necessarily the engine offerings. So he was speaking to Road and Track recently, and he said, and this is a direct quote, Americans love freedom of choice more than anything. When you take away their freedom of choice and tell them you must take this, they revolt. Whether it makes sense or not, it doesn't matter.
Someone who understands the American market.
He understands the American market. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just what they want.
They
They
want
want
the
the loud
option.
noises, they want the tire smoke, and the V8 rumble.
And how many of those die-hard fans have already gone out and reserved a dark horse?
What's a dark horse?
The Mustang.
The Mustang, you can get a naturally aspirated V8 with a manual, which you can't really get anymore.
They don't make the Dodge Challenger anymore. They don't make the Chevy Camaro anymore. Mustang's the last man standing, and it makes a V8. They are making the Charger, but the Charger's electric, and soon to be a 6-cylinder. So you want a V8 American muscle car?
With a manual,
With a
which
manual?
is even more rare?
Mustang's the only thing you can buy. Interestingly, when asked directly, Knuskis did not deny outright the return of the HEMI, which is something the brand has
Very big.
comfortably done recently.
They have said over and over again, the HEMI is dead, the HEMI is dead. They did an entire 3-year campaign on releasing vehicles saying this is the last of the HEMIs, buy them now, these are special editions. They did a whole series of things.
For the Challenger and Charger.
Challenger and Charger.
The Ram didn't get as much fanfare for that.
Right. But they were saying, this is it. Buy them now. They're going to be worth a lot because they're the last call. They're literally called the last call vehicles. And there's all these different special editions. People tried to collect them all. It was a whole thing.
Knuskis did not deny that it could come back. Now, if it did, this was my hot take last time. The HEMI as we know it is old. And it's an iron block pushrod V8 engine. The thing weighs as much as a small car on its own. It did not make as much power as its competitors. It got less miles per gallon than the competitors. Now, the customers don't care to an extent. To an extent. Now you have the new Mustang pushing 500 horsepower to 5 liters and still getting 24 miles a gallon.
And the Iron Block 6.4 was getting 480.
I don't think they could bring back those old. They can't just dust those off and put them back.
Right. It would have to be a clean sheet.
Which, from what I heard, they were working on a more efficient modern HEMI, and whoever upstairs was like, nah, what's the best you can achieve, efficiency-wise with these engines?
But maybe this EV Charger is enough to offset putting a V8 back in.
They'd have to buy enough of them, though. Right?
They'd have to sell enough, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why don't they just do the same thing that that other company did? Where they
Ford?
sell a bunch of little smart car looking things,
They-
and then they can make whatever engine they want.
They kind of did that with
They
the
tried.
Hornet.
They tried with the Hornet.
Oh.
Except that they took an Alfa Romeo, which is an Italian brand known for things breaking. They were selling to a muscle car market, a small family SUV, and
It's priced way too high.
it's 10 grand more than its competitors.
Maybe for the trucks, they can make something work there.
They're trying different things. They're trying a plug-in hybrid with Voyager. They're doing the Ram Charger, which is exactly that.
I mean, you're talking about designing an entirely new platform from the ground up,
Which
which
is-
for a car you're going to sell to hopefully hundreds of thousands of people, you're talking $1 billion
Yeah.
to come up with a new platform. And they already invested that in their Stella large, medium frame
Yeah.
platforms.
It's all up in the air right now.
I feel
And
like
hopefully...
there's a way to make it cheaper.
The best they can come up with is an electric muscle car shaped vehicle that makes loud noises.
Yes. And not for lack of trying.
Yeah, I get the impression, and his Knuskis' comments lead me to believe this is probably the case. The Charger was the closest they were allowed to get to making another muscle car. I feel like they were kind of boxed in.
And the fact that they got it that close is pretty admirable because it definitely looks...
It looks the part.
It looks the part. Unfortunately, it's signing checks that it hasn't really been able to cash.
And the reviews so far haven't been...
They've been mixed at best. I hope they can pull it out. I'm pretty confident Dodge is going to be insolvent in the next few years. Chrysler's totally going insolvent.
You called it like a year ago.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, one of our hot takes, I said Chrysler will be gone by 2030. And
that seems generous now.
And that seems pretty generous.
I think Chrysler will be gone. If they don't come out with anything in the next 2 years,
they're gone.
They're gone.
And Tavares even said that brands that aren't producing are on the chopping block.
Which is a change from what he said a couple of years previous, where he was like, we're not going to get rid of any brands.
There are no legacy brands going away. That's what they said, and nobody believed him.
And then a couple of years later, he's like, yeah, if you're not making money, you're gone.
Dodge and Chrysler are by far and away the lowest producing brands for Stellantis, so he couldn't be talking about anybody else.
Yeah.
And Chrysler's the bottom.
What do they have to pay in an environmental whatever?
They already do.
They already do?
They've been for 10 years now.
They just have to pay a crazy amount of money.
They pay a fee, and then that fee goes right into the price of the car. And it's been going up like crazy the last few years.
It went from, like, you could get an RT for like 36, 35, 36.
You can get an SRT for 40.
You can get an SRT, which is even more power, for 40 grand. Now you can't get into a that same size engine for less than 60.
We just had an election. Is that changing stuff there going to affect that?
It makes like manufacturers maybe, okay, we have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Because you need like, it's like a 5-year cycle. So it's not like, oh, there was an election a couple months ago. In a couple months, we'll have a new car. In 4 years, things could be totally back to where they were. And they don't want to be out on a limb and vulnerable because they're like, you know what? Yeah, scrap that stupid electric stuff. We're going to throw the HEMI back in the Challenger. And then by the time you work out all the R&D and the cars are back on the road, suddenly and a different administration with diametrically opposed viewpoint is there and cracking down on you, and you're like, well, we abandoned all of our EV stuff and our hybrid stuff.
And not even just that they might be behind the 8 ball on these fees, they're going to be behind the 8 ball on every other brand that didn't do that. So it's also a prisoner's dilemma issue.
Making a car is hard because you have to try to predict where is the market going to be in like 4 or 5 years when this car's actually ready to hit the road.
Most companies get by having several cars that are good enough to make some sales, and then 1 or 2 that actually make a difference.
Okay. Hot take.
People don't care about hypercars anymore.
I've noticed that too.
People just don't care. You go tell someone about the new brand, like for a while, 2016, 2017, 2018, these new brands were coming out. People would talk about them. They'd go like, hey, this new brand is coming out with this brand new car from the ground up. It's putting down these crazy numbers. And I think what killed everyone's interest in hypercars was being able to go buy a hypercar for yourself in the form of an electric car.
I came to the same conclusion.
I think that's what it is, because you can get the like thrill of being punched in the back of the head by your headrest. You can even go rent one for $100 a day on Turo or something, and you can go have a near hypercar experience.
At least for the layman.
For the layman,
you're not going to the track or something. You just want something that kind of, you get on the highway fast and you can smoke
anything.
Every other car out there that's not.
If it costs less than 7 figures, you can beat it.
Yeah.
And even if it does cost more than 7 figures, you could still probably beat it in a Model S Plaid or a Lucid Air Sapphire. I think what killed a lot of this enthusiasm for these hypercars. Now, billionaires are going to billionaire, right? They're going to go.
They care about that extra prestige, an extra 10%,
Yeah, being able to have one of 5 or something.
But when you're a little kid and you see a family sedan and a Corvette pull up next to it, and then you just get smoked, it kind of just
what are you doing
deflates here? Now, obviously, there's other things other than just outright speed and acceleration that are important, but still, it's like
something is illustrated in the way a supercar looks that is no longer exclusive to the way a supercar looks. When people enjoy driving a car, it's because they enjoy the experience. So this experience includes the way you sit in the car. In like a Lambo, you're laying down.
How low it is.
How low it is, how, what the weird exotic materials are like.
Open vertically.
Yeah, it's all part of the experience. When we've now been all just desensitized to the speed.
That is ultimately, I had a long conversation with myself.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years ago.
Did you lose?
I won and I lost. But I was deciding on buying, do I want to buy like a classic car or do I want to buy like a Challenger? And I was really moving toward the Challenger. But then it's like, you got, your Tesla, and I had driven a couple electric cars, and it was like the amount of acceleration and performance you get out of these. And we're at the beginning. We're in the early 1900s of internal combustion engines for electric cars. Like, it is only going to go to somewhere crazy, to a point where the most beige consumer base model car is going to just wipe the floor with every internal combustion car that you and I would ever be capable of owning, right? So at that point, it's like, what am I really looking for? Because if I'm looking for outright acceleration, I shouldn't be shopping for a Challenger. I should just be trying to get the newest electric car. Is that what I want?
You want the experience.
I don't think that's what I want either. What has a Challenger that this old classic Cuda that I ultimately got has? And it's like, well, and the whole experience, the looks of the muscle car and just the proportions and just how you sit in the car and like the high belt line and, the manual gear. And like, I want that. And I wanted the Challenger because it was fast, but in not very long, that's not going to be fast anymore. Now, by no means is my classic car fast, but I kind of came to the conclusion that it's like, that's not actually what I want it for. Now it's quick enough. It doesn't matter how fast those electric cars get. They'll never have the bravado, the gravitas, the presence that this classic muscle car will have. It doesn't matter. It can go light speed. It'll never look like this and drive like this and smell like this.
It can't be
that. That's the oil and the gasoline. That smell.
Ultimately, it was electric cars that made me decide to get the Cuda and not the Challenger. Because I was like, what's the limiting principle here? What am I really wanting? The acceleration, actually, if that's what I really cared about, then I would be getting an electric car right now. But I kind of discovered that's not actually what I'm wanting,
You want an experience.
Yeah.
And I wanted an experience after building Joseph's go-kart. And
I want one of these.
I was like, I want one of these that I'm not absolutely terrified I'm going to die in.
So that's why I got a Miata.
Yeah, so I got a Miata because I wanted the experience of being able to drive around in something super light, super fast, super fun, for the feeling of fast. Because I can drive to the gas station at 9/10 in that car and not exceed the speed limit. I can drive it like a madman and not get a speeding ticket.
Dodge's formula has been, let's see if we can get more power out of this Hemi.
Yeah.
More power, like bigger supercharger, bigger. And someone in the back is like, what about fuel efficiency? And they're like, fire him, more power. And then it's great. And we all had a great time.
I think that level of honesty is actually what's missing in marketing. Anyway.
All right.
There's going to be a lot of cutting.
Yep. It's easy to go on and on when you're not the one who's asked to edit it all.
Sorry, man.
All right. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next time.
Bye.